Hi, this is Jennifer Claywell, and this is my video explanation and next steps. The problem I gave students was find the value of k, which is here. That would make 3x minus 4y equals 72 perpendicular to this equation. So basically, students were given two linear equations, and they needed to solve and figure out what the variable of k would be to make the two equations, or the two lines parallel. The most common misconception was that the form that the line is in does not affect the slope. So for example, students saw this, they just assumed that the constant in front of x is the slope, and they know to find the negative reciprocal, so they assume that the perpendicular slope is negative 1/3. So they assume that the slope is just the number in front of x, and that the form that the lines are in don't affect slope. So we have, this is in standard form, and this is in standard form. So neither of these equations are in slope-intercept form, so technically we don't even have the slope by the forms that these lines are given to us. What parents can do is vocab, especially depending on the parent's math ability. Just helping your students with vocab cards would be awesome. So turning in things like this into vocab cards where they are able to verbally define parallel lines as well as graphically, and same with perpendicular lines. There's also three forms: slope-intercept form, point-slope form, standard form. So helping students identify when they see equations if they're in these forms, what form they're in, or making cards that help them match that would be helpful for students. Another cool site is Desmos. So you can click here. I went ahead and entered it. So here we have our two lines over here, and k, I set a slider over here for k. So if we did this, the one student said they did like negative 1/3, so that's like negative 0.33. We'd be able to see that these lines are not perpendicular. So we'd be able to kind of get a better understanding of how our graph is our slope is affected and how the lines become perpendicular based on this value of k. So Desmos is just something that students can always graph lines in to check their work, to see their work, and it's just a really helpful tool. So that is what parents can do. What parents can expect is confusion with vocab, and students are confused on basic vocab when they're incorrectly identifying forms and incorrectly identifying slope from an equation. So that just comes down to making sure that you have these memorized, and it's more of a vocab issue and understanding that we only know slope when we have point-slope form or slope-intercept form. Also, incorrectly identifying if two lines are parallel and perpendicular is another way that it could just be a vocab issue and confusion with vocab. Thank you so much.